and welcome to the Cyber Minute. This is episode number 5. Today I want to focus on cloud computing, or what it takes for anyone to be able to talk about cloud technology correctly to anyone. There are 2 things we need to know in order to do this. One is we need to know what the cloud service models are, and 2, what the cloud deployment models are. You can't talk about the cloud if you don't understand these 2 concepts. So the first one, service models. There are, NIST 800-140, I believe it is, or 141, 142, outlines these service models. The first one is infrastructure as a service, and then platform as a service, and then software as a service. And I hear a lot of folks talk about a lot of different things as a service: security as a service, networking as all kind of different things, cryptography as a service. But NIST only defines 3 service models. Now, all those other types of services can be provided under these 3 service models, but again, NIST only identifies those 3, or defines those 3. So infrastructure relates to the guns, the gates, the guards, the physical servers themselves, up to the BIOS on those servers, and the potentially the hypervisor, the thing that allows you to spawn virtual images. So the benefit here, companies that don't want to have, that don't want to purchase office space in order to, or reserve office space for servers, companies that don't want to have to purchase physical servers, upgrade the operating systems, manage the operating systems, and do all the maintenance and updates that it requires. Every 2-3 years, the systems are outdated. You need to update the equipment and all that. Instead of going through all those costs, you could purchase infrastructure as a service from a cloud service provider like Amazon Web Services. Carpathia is another provider. And all you pay for is what you use. You don't have to worry about all the upkeep and the engineers and the facility and all that stuff. So that's the bottom level, infrastructure as a service. It's the cheapest service available because the provider is doing less for you. Once they provide you with the infrastructure, they then provide you with access to a portal that gives you the ability to spawn virtual images of any type of operating system you want: Linux, Windows, whatever you want to use. You then have to manage the updates to those operating systems. You have to engineer and manage those operating systems. And then you also have to install your applications on top of those operating systems, manage the updates and everything to those, provision users for access to those resources. So the next one is platform as a service. If you purchase platform as a service from a cloud service provider, you're getting the infrastructure, as well as it could be just the operating system, but it could include a software development environment, software development libraries, all those types of things, databases, so forth. So again, you're paying a little bit more for platform as a service because the cloud service provider is doing more for you, you're doing less. But it takes away that administrative overhead of having to manage the updates to the operating system and all that entails. If you're a company that makes kites, you don't want to have to manage servers as well, or hire people to do that for you. You just want to make kites. Why not let the experts, the cloud service providers, who that's all they do, right? The next level up is software as a service, and this is where you get They give you the infrastructure, they give you the platform, and they give you the applications. So the only responsibility you have as a cloud consumer is to provision users for access to those applications. Of course, that's going to be more expensive because the cloud service provider is doing more for you, but less overhead, less effort on your part. The next topic is deployment models. There are 4 different deployment models. You could do a private deployment model, where if you purchase infrastructure, platform, or software as a service from a cloud service provider, all of your equipment and information is separate from all of the other customers of that cloud service provider. Of course, that's going to be a little more expensive, but I think it eliminates one of the greatest fears that most folks have about using cloud services, in that they believe that their systems and their data and everything is going to be commingled with all of the other service providers' customers. But it doesn't have to be if you purchase a private deployment model. Next one is the public deployment model that I think frightens most people. The idea that your systems, your information is going to be commingled with a lot of their other customers. But of course, that's cheaper. The next is a community deployment model, where you and several other companies, or your agency and several other agencies, could come together and purchase these services together, so that only your group's information and servers are commingled, not with all the other customers, just with your group, the folks that you trust to a certain degree. And then the final one is a hybrid model, any combination of those 3. So there you have it. Service models, deployment models. At the core of any cloud environment, you have to understand those 2 terms in order to talk about cloud or cloud technology intelligently to anyone. At the core, that's what you need to know. So that's it. Like, subscribe, click the bell. Don't forget to go over to www.CyberSecStudy.com for study content for the CISSP exam. Take care, stay secure, and I'll see you next time.